Hi everyone and welcome to today's ride, which is the 1 month review of the Planet X Tempest. I was going to say that today's ride was probably going to be one of the hottest of the year, and the first thing I've done is gone through a load of puddles and mud. Now, I've not ridden this bike for over a week. Been a little bit busy at home and work, etc. So I've had a bit of a break in between the last video, which was the long ride, 100 kilometres. And immediately, this just feels really comfortable and smooth, like I've not been off it. It's a very, very smooth ride. Just in a short off-road section, back on tarmac for a bit now, and there's really no difference to the way that the ride feels on the different surfaces. Obviously if I got on choppy stuff I'd feel it more, but gravel, dirt tracks and tarmac feel pretty much the same. Now, tyres, I'm using the Planet Racer Gravel King SKs 43 by 700, and I'm running them at 45 psi. I weigh about 182 pounds, so very similar size, similar weight, etc. That's a comparison for yourself. So rather bizarrely, I'm just about to get into the how much I thought about the bike, etc. And out of nowhere I've got a rear puncture. Fortunately, as I was just talking about the tyres, Gravel King SKs, I am running tubeless. I did lose a bit of pressure, but I managed to put a bung in and stop it and put a bit of air in, so I think today's ride is going to be a lot shorter than what I planned, but we'll still do the review. I suppose tip number one, if you are running tubeless, is carry a spare tube. I'm not, hence the shortened ride. I've been running tubeless for about 12 months now, and I think I've only ever had one puncture aside from this one, but it happens to everybody. So, Planet X owning experience. The bike itself is well spec'd for the money. This one costs a couple of pence short of £2,000, and that was the SRAM Force one. The wheels I did take off on the first ride, as they were a little bit heavier than what I would have liked. The Fulcrum wheels, 800 disc, the ones I chose, came in at 1900 grams. These are prime Barodur wheels, which are essentially the same internal rim width of 19mm, but weigh 1500 grams. So there's a bit of saving there, and you can tell the difference. The ride quality of titanium is very good. It's very smooth on here. Admittedly, I've lost a little bit of pressure since I set off, but even normally, running the normal pressures I would run about 43 psi, 45 psi, it's very, very comfortable, especially on the wider gravel tyres. Handling wise, the bike's really good. The position on it is a little bit more race than my last bike, which was the Cannondale Topstone Soarer. Although again, on a previous video I did switch out the control section of it, and I changed the stem and the bars, swapped them over from the previous bike, so it works for me as a comparison because I know what I was using before. If, like me, you like to ride a little bit of road in between your off-road sections, it's also a good option. It rides really well on the road. The gearing's quite fast, even though it's a one by. But the beauty of it is it's just so switchable. It's 1 minute you can be riding along a road like this and then see a trail. Away you go. And this is quite choppy, but the bike's just soaking it up. So if you're a commuter and you want to make your route a little bit interesting, you've got beauty of off-road sections, this might be the bike for you. Hills wise, 1142 on the back, so this loose gravel doesn't present much of a challenge, to be honest. Nice and grippy. I'm out of the saddle now, back's jumping a little bit, but I've kept going forward. So surfaces like this, the grip's pretty good. It's a little bit sandy, very choppy, but out of the saddle it is pretty comfortable. It's quick to respond, and it genuinely feels like if you push it, it'll just go where you want it to go. Looks wise, the bike does take some beating. The titanium frame looks amazing. Even now it's covered in dust and mud. Still looks really classic. I've not noticed any scratches on it yet, but that's the beauty of a painted frame. And for what it's designed for, it's just one less thing to worry about. Going through loose gravel and you have any chips and pings, you're not worrying that you've damaged your paintwork. As regards Planet X themselves, service wise I found them to be excellent. Some of the reviews beforehand were a little bit off-putting, saying that didn't reply to you, were a bit rubbish, etc., a bit slow. You have to take into account that time wise, when those reviews were written, we were in the middle of Brexit and COVID, so like everywhere else, there maybe wasn't the staff that there should have been to process the orders. And also, from my own personal experience with this bike, the delivery lead time was advertised at 2 to 4 weeks. However, unfortunately my parts were on the Evergreen ship that blocked the Suez for a number of weeks. And the authorities wouldn't release it, so more parts had to be ordered, which added another 3 weeks. But throughout that experience, I was offered store credit at no extra cost as a little bonus, which was very helpful in buying extra kit. And I did get regular updates on the delivery schedule, which actually came forward 3 weeks prior to what they'd advertised. So overall very happy. Communication very good. Usually got a response the same day, but again, if you send an inquiry at 5 o'clock on an afternoon, it's likely by the time someone's seen it, it is next day, and you can't really blame them for that. One thing on the bike that might not be to everyone's taste is the external cable routing. A lot of bikes nowadays have the internal cable routing. To be honest, you've only got this one that's on the outside, which is for the rear derailleur. To be honest, because it's a silver frame and it's black, you've got black accents on it, black forks, black wheels, it doesn't stand out. You could always get some external sheathing of a silver colour or a titanium colour, and it'd blend in. But to be honest with you, I don't think it's an issue at all. It's a lot easier to get to change the cable, that is for certain. If you've ever changed an internally routed cable, it can be a pain. Chain wise, you might notice this doesn't look to be coated. There's no oil on it. That is because I've been using the Squirt lube, wax lube. Again, I'm not sponsored or anything like that, but I have found, and I've used it on 3 bikes now,
to be absolutely fantastic, as long as you clean the chain properly and thoroughly first. When you get the chain, degrease it again, dry it, and if you're not sure, degrease it again. Make sure it's totally dry, and then you apply the wax, leave it overnight. You don't have to wipe any excess off, because obviously if the chain goes round, it collects. You'll see it collecting in the pulleys, and as you ride it drops off. But I think you can do about 4 to 6 hours on a chain before it needs reapplying, and all you do is you can just wash your bike and dry the chain, and there is a little bit of wax still on that, and I've rubbed it with a cloth. I will apply some more wax later on though, just to give it a good coating, but you can see there's no rust on it or anything, and it does look pretty good. So would I recommend buying the Planet X Tempest? Yes, definitely, 100%. I love the bike, I love the looks, I love the price, I love the way it rides. No complaints at all. Planet X service has been top notch throughout. A few issues as discussed earlier on the video with delivery, but that was completely out of their hands, down to a container ship that was stuck on the Suez Canal. Who would have planned that one in? Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, check them out, check the stats out, do your own research. If you've got any questions, please ask. Please like and subscribe, and I will try and get some more videos. I've got a bit of a busy time coming up over the next month or so, which I'll go into at a later date, but please keep watching, keep liking, please subscribe, please tell your friends, and see you next time.